Hello everyone and welcome back to another tutorial in ROS. In today's tutorial what we'll be doing is that we are going to create a subscriber node in ROS using Python. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue from the previous tutorial. So as you can see we have the publisher node which we created in that video. So in this video we are going to create a new file here in our scripts folder, which we will call subscriber_node. Subscriber_node.py. So py is for Python file. So what we're going to do to start this off is that we're going to first of all copy all of the things that we did in the publisher node. So we will get the basic structure of how this will look. And then we will delete this talk to me function or everything inside it. And then we can rename this function talk to me to listener. So then we also need to change the call to this function here in the main function. So this will be listener like this. So what we're going to do in this is that we're going to actually subscribe to the topic which we created in the previous tutorial. So in the previous tutorial, we created a publisher node, which published message to a topic called talking_topic. So what we need to do is we need to subscribe to this topic, and we're going to print those messages out into the terminal. So to do this, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to initialize the node. And if you remember from the previous video, we do this by calling the ROS.py library, and we call a function called init_node. And this function takes two arguments. So the first one is the name of the node. So we will call this subscriber node, subscriber_node. And the second argument is anonymous, this here. And we will say that it's equal to true. And if you remember, this anonymous function, this anonymous parameter here, which we send in, tells ROS that if we are creating two of this subscriber node, what we will be doing is we will set a number on the second one, so we get unique names on all of the nodes. So to continue, what we will be doing is that we are going to create a subscriber object. And in the previous tutorial, we saved the publisher object here into a object called pub, but we don't need to do this with the subscriber object. So we can just say ROS.py.subscriber and then parentheses. And this function, this object here, or the constructor to this object, it takes three arguments. So the first one is the topic that we are going to subscribe to. So to get this correct, what we can be doing is we can copy the topic from the publisher node. So we can take just this one here. This talking_topic here. So we copy that one and we paste it in here. So we have talking topic. And then we send in the other argument, which is the type of the message that we are going to receive on this topic. So if you remember, we use this message string here. So we will set this one to string. And then the third argument is the callback function. And the callback function is the function that we will be calling whenever we receive message on this talking topic, which we subscribe to. So whenever a new message comes into the talking topic, we will call this callback function with the data in from the talking topic. So I will just call this, this will be the function name that we will be calling. So I will call the function callback just for simpleness. So the last thing that we need to do in this listener function is that we're going to call a special function called in this ROS.py library called spin. And what this spin function will do is that it will let us to run the node continuously until we shut it down. So what we need to do now is that we need to define the callback function. So what we do is that we create a new function called callback, which is the name here, which we suggested. So, and this function takes one argument. So this one we will call for data. And what we want to be doing here is that we want to log this into the terminal. So to do this, we will call rospy.log info, and then we will print a message like received data, and then we will say percentage and an S, and then we want to print out the data that we receive. So the data that we receive is data.data, and I will explain why it's data.data and not just data. So this data is a string object, and this string object has a string object inside it with the data. So if we can open up the web browser here, and we can see the documentation for the string messages. So the string message has a string inside it called data. So we refer to the string message, which is data for us, and then we say .data. So we take this object here and we print it out to the screen. And this is actually everything we need to do for the subscriber. So what we will be doing now is that we will hit save, and then we'll go to our CMake list. And if you remember from the previous tutorial, we added a function in this CMake list called catkin_install Python. And then we mentioned our script, which we created in that tutorial. So what we will be doing now is that we will be copying this script /publisher node. And we need to change this publisher here to subscriber. So we can build this like this. So this name here refers to the name here. So we hit save, and what we can do now is that we go to the terminal and we go to our project folder. So I'm currently in it, python_catkin. So what I do here is just that I call catkin_make to build the project. So, and then what I will do is that I will source the setup script in the devel folder like this. And then what I want to do is that I want to open up a new terminal and start my ROS core. So I will do this just by typing ROS core. And the next thing that I want to do is that I want to go back here, and I want to create actually one more terminal. So I will do it like this. And then in this right one here, what I want to do is that I want to go to my project folder, and I need to source the devel/setup bash script here. And then I will run the node which we created in the previous tutorial, which was the publisher node. So I will run that one. And if you remember, we printed out a message when we started it, and now it prints message to this talking topic. So what I want to do now is just that I want to start my subscriber, which will print these messages out to the terminal. So I do this by typing ROS run, and the package name, which is tutorials, and then the name of the node, so subscriber_node.py. And then I just hit enter. So, so we see we have an error here. So we see here, expected an indented block. Okay, so we have some syntax errors. So I will just open that one up. And yeah, we have here listener. So I will indent them, and then I will hit save. So now if I go back, I don't need to rebuild the project, I think. So I can just call this one again. And now, as you can see, we receive a new message every second saying receive data, as we set it to mention here. So receive data, and then we set the string of the data that we are receiving. And we can actually see that, so we say receive data, and the data that we're receiving, it says here. So hello AML, dash and then a timestamp in the milliseconds. And as we can see, it updates every second. So this is actually every time it receives a new message to the topic. And that's everything for this tutorial actually.